Yeah.
Okay. So obviously coming off the last weekend, pretty happy with the overall performance. As we reflect on game 1 versus game 2, Saturday, a little bit tougher for us, just generating some offensive chances. And then in game 2, really happy with the overall effort, looking at our opponent with Mankato and where we were actually last year against these guys, actually had the opportunity to outshoot them, outchance them. And we even shared with the team after the game that we felt like they could be disappointed and that they deserve to win that game. So really happy overall with the weekend. Of course, you want to win those games and add another number to the category, but as a, transitioning to that Division I program that we're looking to become, know that this is part of the process as well.
We'll have to have questions.
So you're like 1/3 of the way about through your games played this season, maybe a little bit more on the calendar since you guys had a preseason run, but how would you assess the progress? Seems like there's a natural break here for everyone to take a deep breath and see what we can build on what we have.
Yeah, I think, as we've talked about as a staff and within our program, certainly looking about the first third here. And so for the first third, we were really trying to figure out our identity a little bit more and look at what our roster had to offer. And then as we move right into the second third here, really kind of focusing in on who we've become. And so obviously there's still room for growth in that way. But as you can see over the last couple of weekends, we've really dialed in on developing more offensive chances, second, third looks at the net, and we're starting to get rewarded for that on the score sheet a little bit more than we had in the past. And so again, as we continue to project out and look at the second third of the season here, really looking to make these next few series really competitive as we go into the first half break.
Ryan on the Zoom, did you have any questions?
Bethany, do you feel like the break is coming at the right time for you guys? Maybe a chance to heal up a little bit or kind of a thing? Or would you rather be playing again this week? You think it's at the best time or not?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think as a former player, you always say you want to be playing, but my bias creeps in that way. But I think that no matter what, for every team, we can speak to Mankato, saw them this weekend, and their roster was a little slight with illness and things like that. And no different for, I feel like, every team in the WCHA, including us right now. You have some injuries, illness, and that's just the nature of hockey and going really long in this first half. And so I think that the break is certainly welcomed. The players would probably say we want to play every single weekend, which is great. But it's definitely a welcome opportunity to get some rest, get some relaxation going into a nice holiday here, and then get back at it for another 3-4 weekends before we go into a bigger break.
Anything surprise you about how the season has progressed, either from your team or just the way that WCHA is playing now?
I don't think a lot of surprises so far in the WCHA. I think we went into this year looking at the rosters and knowing that we continue to be really, I think, the most competitive league in the country. And so, you look and we've got 4 or 5 top 10 teams in the whole country, and then everyone else is unbelievable as well. And so no real surprises. I think that when you play in the WCHA, you anticipate that every single weekend is going to be a complete battle. And so I think that that's the thing that continues to push the needle, not only for our program, but every program within the conference, is that it's never a surprise. Every weekend's going to be challenging. Every weekend's going to be tough. And that's what creates the competitive excellence that exists in the WCHA.
Any final questions from anybody?
Bethany, you guys have been pretty solid in the face-off circle, over the weekend. And do you feel like that's something that's been building to that point, or is that something that's been really preached the last few weeks, or what's going on there?
Yeah, no, the face-off circle was a huge emphasis going into the last 2 weekends. So as we kind of reflected back and looked at the statistics in the first half, that's an area that we knew we had to get a lot better. And so, like I said, the last 2 weekends with Lindenwood and then Mankato series, that was a huge point of emphasis for us is not only are we trying to win those face-offs, but what are we doing out of them? So on the defensive side of the puck, can we get possession? Can we have clean exits? On the offensive side of the puck, can we generate chances? And so a lot of that was kind of review with centers in particular to say, how are we going to win these pucks? It might not always be a clean win, but let's get a secondary win. And so that has certainly been a point of emphasis, that along with the offensive opportunities and creating more there. And it's pretty amazing. You look at something as what seems small in hockey as faceoffs, but when you start to clean up those pieces of the game, how much it can have an impact on the overall scores.
Any last thoughts? All right, thanks, coach.
All right, thanks, guys.